Good evening, you're watching Hungary Reports, kicking off public media M1's foreign language news hour. I'm Marsha Flum, thanks for joining us. On Thursday morning, Prime Minister Viktor Orbán had preliminary talks with the President of the European Council and the Dutch and Latvian Prime Ministers about topics of the EU summit to be held in Brussels next week. At a video conference, the parties reviewed the issues of the upcoming EU summit related to the coronavirus epidemic, the vaccine procurements, as well as the matter of immunity certificates. The talks also covered foreign policy issues, including climate policy, the relations between the European Union and Russia, as well as the status of the implementation of the Brexit agreements. Hungary urges the European Union to sign as many free trade agreements as it can over the coming period, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Trade said in Brussels. Peter Híradó emphasized that the EU should forget about political preconditions when it comes to signing trade deals, arguing that there was no point to them. Hungary will not take part in the next phase of vaccine procurement organized by the European Union, Prime Minister's Chief of Staff told a regular press briefing on Thursday. Gergely Gulyás said that once 5 million Hungarians had received their jabs, the vaccination drive was expected to slow down. Altogether, we can expect 6 million citizens to get inoculated if we are optimistic, he said, adding that Hungary had more than 10 million Western vaccines available. Hungary will lift the ban on hospital visit from Monday, Chief Medical Officer told an online press conference of the operative body responsible for handling the coronavirus epidemic. Cecilia Müller said that favorable epidemiological data make it possible for us to have another step towards a more free life. Free parking in public areas, a measure introduced with regard to the pandemic, will be lifted at midnight on Sunday, Prime Minister's Chief of Staff Gergely Gulyás announced. It means that citizens must pay again for parking after the long weekend during Pentecost. The government first implemented free parking in April 2020 in order to ease the burden on public transport vehicles, and then the cabinet reintroduced the measure last November. 2 more countries have been added to the list of destinations to where Hungarian citizens can travel freely without any quarantine or PCR test obligations. Peter Híradó announced on his social media platform. Hungary has concluded travel agreements with Georgia and Mongolia on mutual recognition of COVID-19 immunity certificate. Thus, the number of countries that Hungarian tourists holding immunity certificates can now enter has reached 10. There are ongoing negotiations with other countries as well, but because the Hungarian vaccination rate is the most favorable in the EU, the other member states still find it more difficult to take steps in the issue, the minister emphasized. That's all for now, but we'll be back tomorrow night at around the same time, and you can stream Hungary reports online as well. Please stay tuned for our German, Russian and Chinese language news. Thanks for watching. Take care. Good night.